दयाकरं दयाकारं धान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम् ॐ Okay. Yes. So the scope of the talk is beautifully, I don't know how it all happened, like very nicely he said Guru Tattvam. Okay, Guru Tattvam means it's too vast a subject. But he said Guru Tattvam with reference to Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati. That I felt is very, very blessing for me. How it, how it appears when it comes out. He will bless me to tell whatever I can tell about him. So, and I saw the subject matter of your, what do you call your retreat also is fairly, you can call it core Vedanta. Doesn't beat around the bush. Both the texts, Kashi Panchakam as well as the Avadhuta Gita. So that also helps in my whatever I can tell. So I will try to, I won't bore you, I will try to tell you briefly about my journey. That will, in the sense, in the course of my telling that, perhaps you can get a feel of how I got, what you call, whatever I learned from Puja Swamiji. So that also will help. And thereafter, I will go to some illustration or some particular verse, and then we will go along. And then, depending on how you are comfortable about it. So, and so I listened to Swamiji a particular talk where the subject matter was who am I? Who am I was the subject matter, 75. So, and he said in that talk that you are the awareful being. A lot of things you must have definitely told, but this was at the forefront in my mind. You are the awareful being. Who am I? That is, who are you? You are the awareful being. That means, who am I? I am the awareful being. That is those two words stuck with me. So thereafter, till the time I was to a few more talks, I would have definitely heard, listened to him, and then by the time in next 1.5 months, I left to Bombay to take up a job in Hindustan Liver. There again, there was a lot of plus minus and all that. It's not that I went in exactly only for Hindustan Liver job or something like that. A lot of things happened. So, and I always used to think, even when before that 1.5 months also, that yeah, correct, I am able to see my mother appreciates me in the morning, my father scolds me in the evening. In the cricket, you play, it's a holiday season, you are cricket playing, sometimes you are doing well, sometimes you are not doing well. The captain scolds you. I am seeing all that. So I am able to see everything that is happening in my life as an awareful being. So that awareful being was fairly very clear to me, in the sense I didn't have any, maybe because of that English medium education, or maybe I have been listening, I've been with Swamiji for some time. So I somehow got related to, I was able to relate to those two words, awareful being, as I am. And then I was able to relate to everything that was happening around me through that prism of I am the awareful being. I am seeing my emotions, my good and my appreciation, other people around me, everything. So with that thought, okay, it was there in my mind. I went to Bombay. Then Swamiji was starting the course in December 75, I joined Hindustan Liver. January 76, the 3-year course at Sandipani Sadhanalaya, Bombay started, where Swami Paramarthananda, Viditatmananda, all the stalwarts of today's stalwarts of the Ashwadya Parampara were the students of the 3-year course which Pujya Swamiji started. It was the second course. The first course he had already completed, 72 to 75. Swami Suddhananda Uttandi, some of you might have heard, he was a student in that course. This 76 to 79 course was attended by one of my uncles also, and plus Swami Viditatmananda, Paramarthananda, a lot of other people, many of the acharyas of today. So I used to go weekend when I was employed also. I used to go weekend every time, 2 days I used to spend every weekend with Swamiji. Swamiji was in full flow. He was young and he was only 75, 45, at the age of 45. He was in full flow. He was teaching and he was conducting bhajans in the evening satsang at Jagadishwara temple at Powai, Bombay. There is Jagadishwara temple. He used to conduct bhajans and all that. Everything I used to participate. After 2 days I come back. Then I go to work and all that, whatever. This was going on for 2 years. In between also I had, because I had a lot of discussion and all that, I felt, okay, I can also study Swamiji, I can. No, he said, no. I know your family background and all that. You are here to, you can learn. That is okay. No abstraction for that. But you have to keep working, you have to take care of your family. That is why you are here. So immediately, because I was ready, in the sense, only that I perhaps aired it so that there is a confirmation from the Guru. So that he said, then it's okay. It never occurred to me again later that I have to be complete resident of the Gurukulam and all that. So I did my MSc in analytical chemistry there, doing night college, night job and day college and all that. So it continued. Then Swamiji in 79, he went to America. Then I did my post graduation as well as, and I got married and everything was going on. Life was going on. But I was listening to Swamiji's tapes or till I was in Colgate Palmolive at that time, 1990, Swamiji started the Anaikati Gurukulam at Coimbatore. Then he started Gita Home Study as a sort of manuscript used to come. I enrolled myself, and then I got that was 50 pages every month he will send. So 36 months, 1800 pages. Then that is 18 chapters. He covered as Gita Home Study, which is now, we have published it 4 times, we have edited by Swamiji himself. I have been doing the proofreading and all for the last 10 years, getting it out in shape. So like that, other books also, when so in 90 it started. Then I was in Gulf and all that, came back in 2007, joined the Gurukulam as manager. So I said, Swamiji, I have done enough for whatever you said. I have completed my obligations to the family. Everything is taken. He asked me what is details and all, he used to ask. He also was satisfied. Oh, but why I am telling this is a brief thing, in the sense, in all these years of 50 years of listening, this particular understanding that you are the awareful being, this never got vitiated. It was there, and everything around that was building around that, and it was going on nicely. The whole thing, like, okay, all other terminologies like Sadeva Satyam, all Mahavakyas, I am Atma Brahma, and Prajnanam Brahma, all those things, eventually it all boiled down to only that word, that you are the awareful being. So, and never it crossed my mind that there is some conflict anywhere and all that. So, this is how my learning with Pujya Swamiji, and it has been a very, what do you call, in the sense there is no gap between, even whether doing a public talk or whether he is doing a Gurukulam talk, everywhere it was well sinking, like, and this one uniform message, so that there is no confusion on the part of the student. So that is the hallmark of his teaching. And one other thing is that he validates all that is happening. Even if you, for example, even if something wrong you do, he will validate. There is a background for it. Even the wrong is part of the order. He will say, like most of the people, some of the people who know chemistry, they know. Then how is what do you call an order measured. An order is measured by measuring the chaos. Entropy is a measure of chaos. It is not the measure of order. Because even in chaos, we call it chaos because to that extent only you understand. But there is an order there. So there is nothing called chaos and order. Everything, the what you call the margin of delineation is less blurred. So there is only one universal truth. There is variety, there is difference, but no division. The division is what we perceive. You can call it Maya or Avidya, but either way, it is a division which is not true. That much is clear because there is a uniform. There is only one truth. When we say all that is here is Ishvara, when Swamiji says, we forget to include ourselves. And then we say Ishvara only there. Actually, if all that is here is Swamiji used to say in that Taittiriya Upanishad, he used to start with that Brahmavit apnodu param. Even before starting in the Anandavalli, he will say, I think people must be familiar with all of these things, so I'm just telling. So he will say, Brahman is limitless. Okay, Brikhdhatu, we can say limitless. Brahman is limitless. That means it must include you. You are, you know you are. You don't have to ask your wife whether you are or not. You are. Brahman is limitless. Brahman includes you. You are. And Brahman is without parts. So that you are that. So you are that Brahman. And then you will just say it in the passing, a few lines, and then you will start Brahmavita apnodu param tatyesha vyuktam satyam jnanam anantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman soshnute sarvan kaman saha brahmana vipaschiteti. You will say Brahmana vipaschiteti. That Brahmana is not a instrumental case. It is Ittam Bhute Tritiya, I will say. By being Brahman, you come to know, you understand that. You understand it clearly because you are Brahman. By being Brahman, Brahmana vipaschiteti, seeing it clearly. That is what he said in the beginning. Limitless, it includes you, you are, therefore you are limitless. That is the same thing. In 4 lines, what he told was proved by the opening statement of the Upanishad in Anandavalli. So, all the time he was very clear as to whatever he tells, nothing he tells casually. Even so it appears casually, it gets reinforced by the Shastra. So, that way his teaching was very, very seminal in the sense it never had any contradiction. The most important part of the teacher is already the subject matter is fairly metaphysical and all that. So, the teacher's responsibility is not to create any confusion in the minds of the already difficult situation in life, because the understanding is metaphysical, is nothing to do with what you have been dealing with. Everything you deal with, even though we call it Vyavahara, Pradipashikam, Paramarthikam and all that, we don't live like that. We live one life. There is no bifurcation as such. Only through Shastra we come to know this way we have to bifurcate and all that. But as far as he is concerned, there is only one life. There is only one life. Don't try to bifurcate, saying that Vaidika, Laukika, professional, personal, inside house, one thing, outside house, another thing. No compartmentalization. That was his teaching. You are one being all through. So this in the sense, in the course of his talks, he always used to maintain these things. Very consistent way of explaining, and that was the hallmark of his teaching. So, and then there is this which I have introduced also, that Swamiji got the understanding that Vedanta is a pramanam from Swami Pranavananda of Gudivada Ashram. That is again a very unique, in his own words, it is appearing in the biography also, that Vedanta as a pramanam was a breakthrough in his life. Till then he was a bit iffy about the whole thing. He was not very sure. But once he got it from him that Vedanta is a pramanam, then it really his understanding of the whole Shastra took a different turn. And then he studied, went through the whole thing again. In his own words, he said, He went through the whole thing, whatever he has studied, Upanishads, everything, and now he was ready as a teacher. That was the time when he was completely sure about Vedanta as a subject matter which has to be disseminated. It is meant for all human beings. If I can understand, Swamiji used to say, sadhana chatushtaya sampanti is important before, generally that is the thing, before even becoming a student. But he said, where I had sadhana chatushtaya sampanna when I started, I had all the confusions. But still I was able to go through. So it's meant for all. So it's meant for all human beings. Like even though the story goes that Swami Shivananda told Chimnyananda not to take it to the public at large. It was not meant that way, but Chimnyananda took it, came down and started the teaching in public and all that. And as a true Shishya, Swami Dayananda also did the same thing, taking it to the public, because in their understanding they were very clear, this understanding of Vedanta is meant for all human beings. So it is everyone who is born as a human being is entitled, is got that preliminary qualification to study Vedanta. And for that, he used to say, in explaining the fundamental problems of life, so he says, like in psychology, we have psychology, everyone goes through childhood, and then become an adult and all that. But a human child, when it is born, it is totally trusting. Unlike a calf, a calf, as soon as it is born, within a few minutes, it will get up on all four legs and go to the mother to drink milk and all that. It was very, likewise, every other animal, every other plant species also, they are programmed. They don't have to learn the basics how to survive. Survival is an instinct for everyone, and every animal and every species, and every one of the animal species, plant species know exactly, they are programmed to survive. They know exactly what to do. Whereas in case of a human being, Swamiji used to say, even to learn to go for your milk, it doesn't know where to go. The mother has to guide, and then only it will be able to, even to drink, how to drink also it has to be told to that extent. And then every other activity, even a turning, it's a big milestone as far as the child is concerned. The day child turns, everyone celebrates. So all these things are there. Then when Swamiji used to explain that why this is so, the human child, because the human child is born with the learnings of all the species in the creation, because it's an evolution. It's an evolved being. So the human being is supposed to be the most evolved being. That means it has got the learnings of, in the genes, it has got the learnings of all the jantus from worm to Brahma. In the sense, everything it has got the learnings, all the learnings. But suppose when the child is born, if all this, like even a programmed animal, if the child is born and along with that all the learnings come up, it will be confused where to go, what to do. Nothing will be able to, like Vamadeva and all that. It will be in the sense you can just be there and that's all. Thereafter he has to merge with Ishvara, like that. So that is not the case. We are saying that everyone is right from beginning learning, as I said, even to eat, even to drink milk, even to turn, everything one by one we learn. So we are born as a clean slate. Even though we have got the learnings of all the genes, but we are sent down, we are born with a clean slate and the capability to learn anything you want to learn, and the freedom to do anything you want to do. Like we have got this famous statement, kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, anyata va kartum shakyam. Anything, for example, if I want, I can keep it like this, or I keep it like that, I can throw also. Even God cannot prevent me. Even though I know the consequences, I may just throw. What will happen, but I have got the freedom to do. Nothing, nobody can stop it, which is not so in case of animal or plant. They don't just like that do. They do only what is programmed, because we don't know exactly, but they live the way in which they are programmed. That also we are able to make out. So that means the degree of freedom is 100%. You start as a clean slate, and then that in the sense, if you extrapolate these two things, that you are Purnam, that uninhibited consciousness is your reality, is also there along with this 100% degree of freedom in action and learning capability, and along with the feeling, or along with the um, uh, urge to be Purnam also has come, because everything is complete in your human being's journey. When you are born as a human being, you are entitled for 100% degree of freedom in your action, 100% degree of freedom in your learning, and 100% degree of freedom in knowing your reality. These three are 100% Purnam in your human being. That is why the being that is why it's called the evolved being. So, in the design of the whole Prapancha also, the human being is a fulcrum. That is why, since you have got the 100% freedom to know your Purnata, you are responsible for your actions. That is why you are capable of creating your own Punya and Papa. No other species, including Brahmadeva, cannot create any Punya. Whereas animals and plants, of course not. But only human being can create Punya and Papa, because you are not supposed to do anything not in line with Ishvara's Niyati. Anything not done, anything something more than what you do as the Niyati also, you get Punya. Anything something less or in opposite, you get Papa. So you create the karma. The karma, so you are assisting Ishvaras, you are Ishvara's associate in creating karma and karma pala, so that, and eventually the story is all this karma pala fructifies into various beings. Like from a worm to Brahmadeva, you are born depending on the punya and papa mix in your account. So all that punya papa account created by whom? Only by the human being, because he is only capable. You are capable of understanding, and that is your real purpose also in identifying yourself with Ishvara. So that is the principle with which you have come. But anything you do contrary, plus or minus, will keep happening, and that is why we see the prapancha. The prapancha is purely to exhaust the punya and papa of the beings born out of the karma and karma pala generated by a human being. So that is how this whole thing is. Okay, there is a story which is karma and all that. Entire 99% of the Vedas are talking about karma only. We are not generally, that is not the scope of our discussion. But Swamiji used to mention this. So that way, having said that, now that means what? The purpose of a human being, generally people ask, what is the purpose? Is to live. Swamiji used to say, purpose of living is what? To live. But the purpose of human being is to know this, the Purnata in your life. Otherwise, you are you are going against the evolution. Evolution of human beings is supposed to be evolved only to, and from there is only a next evolution is to Aikyam with Ishvara. So that is a natural evolution. So anything you do other than that is not natural. It is not part of the Ishvara Srishti. So that is how, and again, Ishvara Srishti is what? Ishvara Srishti is what we postulate, what the whole thing, the Shastra postulates, in a logical extension of our understanding and our evolution. So that also fits well in place. All the Rishis, all the Upanishads, whatever talks about, fits well with this understanding. So now Swamiji always used to say, this used to enumerate, as even in the Gita from Shri, very well, lot of texts of Swamiji, fundamental text, fundamental problem. He will start with the fundamental problem. Fundamental problem means what? You are not satisfied for anything that is changing. If you get something, you want to have it all the time. And any happiness, you want to own all the time. All time, all situations. Knowledge also, even for going on the roads, some few people gather together and talk something, you want to know. You go and poke your nose, even though it's not related to you, because the curiosity, the urge to know and to know complete is there. So to know and to know complete, and anything that is you, in your perception is happiness, you want to retain all the time in all the situations. So you are nothing, you are not ready for any half measures in life. That is your nature. It is not because you are intelligent or not intelligent. Even for a non-intelligent person also wants to have everything. So that is very natural. So because it is natural, because Purnata is the way in which you are born as a human being, that is why you are seeking that. That is very natural, a fundamental problem. And also he used to say, very obvious, that with our faculty in terms of body, mind and senses and all that, we know very well that everything is limited. Everything is limited, and only that much you can do. With that limitation, how are you going to get to infinite? Infinite meaning Purnata. The Purnata with limited, even mathematically, finite cannot lead you to infinite. Finite plus any number is going to still be finite only, it will not be infinite. So that way also it is a non-starter. If that is the way you are going to start and looking for Purnata by doing various things, it is not going to happen. So naturally you will have to look at it differently. So this is what he also says, that like as I told, since we have got the freedom to learn anything and everything, we start learning how to move, how to eat, how to go to school. Like that only we keep on learning various things in the world, like everyone else does, society or whatever. But we take it for granted, who am I, which I started with. We never ask the question because I know I am my Aadhaar card. I am very clear about it. No, society also knows, I also know. So where is the problem? So if somebody asks, do you know yourself, you get annoyed. Hey, what are you asking? I am such an old 35-year-old man, 40-year-old man. You are asking me, I didn't know. So that sort of a question never arises in our minds. So since you have not asked for it, you don't get to know. That's all, because there is no other limitation. You have not asked for it, so don't get it. So perhaps because of your, there again, the Swamiji always used to say, it is the grace of the whole, the grace of the whole prapancha is what is, in the sense we think that there is a Ishvara sitting somewhere and giving me grace and I have to keep propitiating to get the grace. No, he says the design of that whole prapancha is is part of the grace. So once you are very aware of this whole thing, there is a sense of what you call, you start reaching out. In the sense you become more and more, instead of being a center and a limited circle, you expand the center to become the circle. Or in the sense, that is what normally they say, dharmic living or reaching out living. Swamiji's own word. Swamiji doesn't like the word charity. He always used to say reach out. Who are you to do charity? You yourself are living with the charity of so many people in the world. So including the plants and animals, they do charity for you. That's why you are able to live. So don't use the word charity. He will say reach out. That is why the aim for seva also talks about reaching out. So once you expand the center to include the more and more people or more and more things around you, then you become more informed about the prapancha. That opens up the grace to understand, oh, this all must have been a continuum. It is not one over the other. There is difference, but is no division. So the divisionless oneness is seems to be the what you call, the principle behind the whole thing. So I have never thought about it that way. I never, where am I in that principle? I have never looked at it. Maybe I have to look at it. So by reaching out, by living a dharmic living, but by expansive living, expanding yourself in your normal day-to-day activities, you get the grace of the prapancha, and then it leads you to your teacher. And when you ask this question, what it is all about, then it is there for the asking, because you are entitled to get it and you will get it. So that is how the whole teaching, he always starts that way, and this is how the teaching is. And I find that in my own life, I find that is in harmonious. In the sense, once you ask the question, or whether you don't have to ask the question, you, in my case, honestly, I didn't ask the question. He put it in my head, two words, awareful being, and it grew like like a seed growing into a tree. So it's all beautifully, but anyway, it can, depending on, like, not everyone has to do the same way. It's not, as I said, it's not programmed. Everyone comes with a different background, but this principle of expansive living, reaching out living, doing whatever you can do, more and more people, instead of being your center should expand. Basically, a center, and generally what they say, no, area of concern, area of influence. So area of concern should be made into area of influence more and more. Then your area of concern becomes more, then your concern becomes very small compared to the larger society. So automatically, your concern, you are able to be objective about it. So you do whatever you need to do rather than getting worried about it, because you are not concerned, because you are looking at the larger picture. That way also you become more objective. Once you become more objective, you are more dharmic. In the sense you do. Swamiji always to say, in today's society, what is dharmic living? It is only what is doing appropriate to the given situation. Because there is no varnashrama dharma, everything is blurred. So even though we talk about it, we try to do that, but in today's society, everything is in a mix. Everyone does everything else. So now we have to limit who is a Brahmana. A thinker is a Brahmana. We have to say it that way. A person who thinks genuinely is a Brahmana. It's not because a particular, by like originally what they were saying, no, the guna karma vibhaga saha. That is a thing, but later it became by birth and all that. It's all vitiated way of looking at Varnashrama. Swamiji also mentions that in various places. So the thinker, and then a warrior, then a laborer, then administrative people. Likewise, only we understand society today, and that is there even today. Even though we can say it is label of Varnashrama Dharma is not there, but this is there in every factory, every company, every society. It is there. There are thinkers, there are doers, there are administrators, there are people who manage the money. This is anyway needed. So you in that sort of an understanding, you do what you are supposed to do. You being a laborer, you don't talk about the finances of the company, because you are not equipped to do that. So a financial man, let him take to finances. Don't let him not interfere with the union and all that. So all those things, that sort of a understanding, that much we have. So live appropriate to the given situation. So that is the dharma. Today's dharma is what is appropriate to the given situation, which doesn't conflict with. You may not be legally conflicting, but inside like that. There again, Swamiji always used to say that the matrix of dharma is as a manual you have come with. It is not that you read it in books and understood. Even stealing, even a robber knows that his family should not be robbed. That means he has got a value for non-robbing. Even though he may be robbing for a living, but he knows. So, but whether he is educated or uneducated, rich or poor, every one of us know as human being the matrix, the manual of proper living. Even though it is mentioned as do not steal, do not tell a lie, and all that as values, but it's all there. Is what you call, it's all etched into our psyche. That so all of us know. So if we stick to that, and Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma, wherever you are working, as I was telling, whether you are a thinker, whether you are a doer, and all that, that Vishesha Dharma and Samanya Dharma, if you are able to act appropriate to the given situation, then not automatically the conflict-free mind you will have. Then, as I was saying, that when you are able to look at the larger picture, include everyone, and reach out and do whatever possible. If you are not able to do a Niyatam Karma, you have to go to a hostel like our Chatralaya and try to give some donation, or go to some temple, give some Annadanam, like that. Ishta Karma and Purta Karma, two ways he used to say. Purta Karma is not wherever you are not able to do enjoined karma, you do this reaching out activities. Either way, you are able to grow big than what you are. Instead of being in like a frog in the well, you are able to expand. Once you have that expansive look at life, automatically the question will come, what is this all about? If this whole thing is a continuum, what is the truth behind that? Then once you start asking that, it is there. It is there for the asking. There will definitely emerge an acharya who will be able to kindle that question and also tell you what it is all about and expand, like the pramana. So Swamiji's famous thing is pramana. Again, even in pramana, Shabda pramana also, there is a lot of this thing, like lot of debate. How can, the sense it is not available, like if you go into the nitty gritty, it is timeless, spaceless, objectless, being, if you see, that is your reality, how are you going to put it in words? It is not going to be amenable for words. And that is also there. In so many places, Shastra itself says, Pacharambanam vikaram namadeyam. Then it says, Yan manasa na manute. And another place it says, Manasa eva anudrishtavyam. Lot of paradoxes. In the sense, one place it says it's not possible, another place Manasa eva anudrishtavyam. How is it? How you reconcile? It's all available. The same Shastra is able to reconcile all that. Swamiji beautifully explains. So, in Mandukya, Swamiji says that even though it's Achintyam, Shabdam and all that, later it says Ekatma Pratyaya Saram. In the sense, Pratyaya, okay. What is Pratyaya? Anything we see is Pratiti. And then from there it starts. In the sense, Pratiti is famous Brihadaranyaka Upanishad statement is what you call Indro Maya Bihi Pururupaha Iyate Pratiyate Pratiti Matrameva. Gone through that? You have mentioned? No, not. So what it says is Indra is Ishvara basically. Indra Mayo Bihi Maya Bihi Pururupaha means Purusha Rupaha Iyate Pratiyate. The sense, what it means is whenever like you take a pot and put a lamp inside and put 5 holes, okay, through the 5 holes you get 5 beams of light, but actually what is there is only one light, but you see it as 5 beams. So the 5 beams what you see is called pratiti. Okay, so but likewise in all our Navadware Pure Dehi, like our body is described, and we have 5 pramanas, what we say, eyes, ears, taste, and sense of touch, and all that. But these are all only one consciousness appearing through the various sense organs as eyes, ears. Eyes can see only certain things, ears can hear only, nose can only smell, sense of taste and sense of touch, which runs all over the body, which gives you the feeling that this body is yours. So, because of the sense of touch running all over the body, you feel this body is my body. Actually, there is no my body, there is only one body. A sense of touch running as a sense of delineation between the space outside. Actually, there is space outside, there is space inside. Where is the bifurcation? There is no bifurcation. But because of the sense of touch, you say, I don't, Swamiji always to funnily say, I don't exist between these 2 fingers. If a bullet passes through it, you don't get hurt. You feel that way. Because the space is, you think that you are not there in the space. So because the skin bifurcates you from the space outside and space inside. So the whole thing, if you look at it, the pratiti, that 5 sense organs and senses is only an artificial bifurcation of the same conscious being. That is why it is called, there is difference, but there is no division. So, Veda is there, Avasara is not there. In the this in particular, I will just take one particular verse from, what is that? See, there is one verse, Aparoksha Anupati. There is a verse 46, which talks about Satyam and Mithya. He says, Vyapya Vyapakata Mithya Sarvam Atmeti Shasanat Iti Jnate Pare Tatve Vedasya Avasaraha Kutaha. He says, Veda is there, differences are there. Avasaraha means division. Where is division? There is only difference, only variety. But there is no division, because if you understand, it's all one. As I was telling, there is only one conscious being, Chaitanyam, which lights up the whole thing. Okay, so eyes can see only color and form, and likewise ears can hear only the sound. But that is only in the sense, it is only a difference for you to what do you call, do the transaction. Why there is a need to do transaction? Because with that, not knowing that there is only one being with the differences only, we have come a long way By not knowing the reality, we have been looking at different division. We have been doing karma, we have been living various janmas, and because of karma and karma pala, so many jantus. So the story starts long back. So we cannot now reverse that process. We can't, suppose we try to reverse it the same route, it will again take so many janmas. So better to understand the reality as is. Just there is only Vedam, there is no Avasara. Avasara meaning division. Veda means differences. Differences do not constitute division. This one particular verse, so beautifully it tells that. That's why I picked it up. So it says the whole thing, as I was telling, this Pratyaya, there is a story between Pratyaya and Pratiti. Both are Mithya. Pratiti is natural, like Maya, you can say. In the sense, Maya meaning, in the sense, you can say, I will not even confuse that way. Say it is given as Ishvara Srishti. But what you make of it is your intelligence or non-intelligence, which is, you can say, ignorance, avidya. So, Pratiti to Pratyaya, the journey is from Maya to avidya. That beautifully he says, Pratiti is stimulus. Atma Chaitanyam lights up the mind, and the mind lights up the eyes. So eyes meaning every upalakshana for all the senses. Like eyes, ears, you can say everything is lit by the mind, which is lit by the Chaitanyam. So the light travels and gets reflected by the objecting Vishaya. That is why an object is called object, because it objects light. That's all. There is no object as such. Just because you are able to see an object, because the light comes back from the object. So since it objects light, it is called object. Even Englishman seems to have christened it properly. So there is no real object. Actually speaking, in science again you will know that generally now they are trying to find out the smallest particle, the boson particle and all that. Actually what happens, what they do, that CERN, that German lab, what they do, they keep on increasing the intensity of the light. The light has frequency, like trough and crest, no? The light is measured, the light rays are mentioned by nanometers on the basis of the distance between the crest and the trough. So as you increase the light is not going in straight line, it's going as a wave. The wave has got a crest and trough, that is how light goes. So as you increase the intensity of the light, the space between the trough and the crest comes down. So it becomes more and more powerful. So depending on the light that goes through a particle, if the particle size is same as the frequency or the length between the trough and the crest of a particular frequency of a wave, then it measures that particle accurately. Then it says this is the size of the particle. So as you increase the light intensity, the distance becomes small and it passes through the particle. That means that particle is not there is a further particle inside. So we keep on increasing that light intensity. So you get to know more and more smaller particles, from atom to this proton to nucleus to proton to electron, like that. Keep on going, and we keep on increasing that light in a big CERN reactor or whatever you call it. You find that you are able to observe the smallest particle, boson particle. But now, if you increase the light beyond, somehow find a way to increase the light beyond that intensity, that boson particle also it will go through. That means there are no real particles. There are no real particles. Because of your limitation of your measurement, you say there is a particle. So that is what even today's quantum mechanics says, there is no particle or wave, there are only quantums. And there is no real predetermined creation or something like that. Everything is, it is all one continuum. Nowadays, some science talks about that, all that. So, in the same way, so what Swamiji says is, or the Shastra talks about is, there is only one light of consciousness, and because of the bifurcation between the capability of your senses, you say there are 5 senses, ears, eyes and all that. And whatever you are able to perceive through a particular sense object, sense organ, and a particular matching sense object. It's a matching. There is a sense organ, sense object matching. Then you say there is a pratyaya. Pratyaya meaning names and forms. Names, and you give a name, and pratyaya meaning only you just light the object creates a image in your retina. In the retina, there is an image, that's all. But you gave it having seen that, you say it's apple. Because why you say apple? Because you have seen a similar image long time back and somebody has called it apple. Because of that memory, you call it apple. You are not really seeing an apple. You are just seeing light, actually speaking. Like if you go open in a dark room, there are a lot of objects. Once you enter, you don't see anything. It's a dark room. Once you put on, what you see? You see only light, you don't see objects, but you see objects. You take it for granted, light is taken for granted. You don't say, when you switch on, what you see, you don't see, say light, you say, I see objects. Why? Because the light is, because the light, actually you see only the light. You don't see objects. All objects are reflected light. Even that reflected light, Swamiji will say, it falls short of understanding. There is no reflected light, there is only light. Just because it comes to you through a mechanism of reflection, you call it reflected light, but there is only light. So the reflected consciousness also Swamiji doesn't accept. There is only consciousness. So that way, all your pratyaya, meaning all your the whole what you call your transaction, whatever you do deal with in life, is only pratyaya, is only name and form, which you call it object. You only call it object. There is no object. There is only light of consciousness. The reality alone is there. Everything else is your Jiva Srishti. Reality of light, and in its in the sense, in the Srishti, what it is there is the reality, and there is what you call the capabilities, various capabilities. As I said in the beginning, human being with all the capabilities. So every capability is available. That is why you have come with that capability up to knowing what is your reality of the Ishvara Swarupam, Ishvaroham சொல்ற அளவுக்கு you are coming with that reality 100%. But because within that reality has got all the capabilities, capability of language, capability of naming and shaming, all that is there. With that come, and you say there is a world around. There is Ishvara, there is the light of consciousness, and then the whole thing is there. But the whole prapancha, prapancha means what? Pancha. You got the capability to divide, and to give name, and you say Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadeyam. And Shastra says Namadeyam, Nama Matram. There is no real object or something. Only Nama Matram. Namadeyam means what? Only Nama Matram. So all your vibhuti. So your vibhuti, you call it life. And then say life is difficult to manage. There is no life other than you. You, the being, is the only reality, and that is the reality of Bhagavan also. Bhagavan says very clearly in the 5th chapter, in the 4th chapter, Ajopi sanna, Avyaya Atma bisanna, Bhutanam Ishwaro pisanna, Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya, Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. And there again, Bhagavan says Atma Maya, Brahma Maya, it doesn't say, he disowns that. Why? Because he says first line is common for you and me. Ajopi sanna, neither you are born nor I am born. There is only being, conscious being. Avyaya Atma bisanna, Avyayam, in the sense there is no change, there is no parts and all that. It's all parts and all that we have named it. It's all. Bhagavan, no, chair doesn't come and say I am the chair, or even the plant doesn't come and say I am this plant, that plant, and all. It's all our own creation, our own nomenclature. And we have got a method of nomenclature also. Chemistry has got a method of nomenclature, physics has got a method of nomenclature. The same gold will be called differently in physics and differently in chemistry. So, so like that, so Ajopi sanna, Avyaya Atma bisanna. There is no change. Avyayam means what? Changeless is our reality, is Ishvara's reality also. Ajopi sanna, if it is not born, naturally it is not going to have any change. Ajopi sanna, Avyaya Atma bisanna, Bhutanam Ishvaro bisanna. The whole prapancha, what you call prapancha, in all that, what is only this? Ajopi sanna and Avyaya Atma bisanna. Bhutanam Ishvaro bisanna. Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. Atma Mayaya, in your own wisdom. Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya, with all this capability. Prakriti means all capability. Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya, keeping that capability in hand. Sambhavami. The prapancha is Sambhavam. Sambhavami Atma Maya. That Bhagavan says, and he says you can also say the same thing. If you say the same thing, then you and I are one and the same. You are not saying that. You are saying, no, I am separate. So what can I do? So Bhagavan tells in the Bhashya, it clearly says, if you are able to say that Sambhavami Atma Maya, when you are able to own it up, like in various places, mom, in Gita, wherever mom, Bhagavan says, you can put yourself there. That is why that mom means aham. So aham and Ishvara are one and the same. And everywhere, lot of places, mom, Bhagavan says. And Swamiji used to say, wherever mom, if you are able to own it up, claim your reality as that way, the Upadesa is complete then and there. And that is what this Upadesa is all about. The whole thing is identity between you and Bhagavan. Ishwaroham, you have to say. So this way, why I am telling all this is that Swamiji used to make it very real in his own way of teaching and way in which he presents the subject matter. Like as I was telling you, though Pramanam is, Sabda Pramanam is not Achintyam and all that, he says, Ekatma Pratyaya Saram. Okay, it is not the Pratyaya, the Sat and Chit. Why we have to say Sat and Chit? It is because you say that the Chit is Chaitanyam, is a capability, but it is available in so many names and forms. Okay, there is everything, but it is available in a logical connection. That is why it is called Chit. Chit Swarupam means knowledge. Knowledge is what? There is only one being. But anything you say differently or division, there is a logic behind that. So that logic is called Chit Swarupam. So Sat Chit Swarupam is Pratyaya, but you can go beyond the Pratyaya and understand as the Saram, Ekatma Pratyaya iti Saram. If you understand it that way in Mandukya Upanishad, later it tells the same place where it says Achintyam, Alakshanam, Alingam and all that, in explanation of that, it tells it is Ekatma Pratyaya Saram. It is an understanding. Okay, it is not defined by words, but you can understand. You, human being, can understand that thoroughly. You are capable of that. And that explains. Same Mandukya, beautiful, at a critical juncture, it explains that where it talked about all the, what you call, Jagrada Avastha, Sushubda Avastha, and Swapna Avastha, and now it comes to Turiya Avastha. The seventh mantra of the Upanishad is going to talk about the Turiya Avastha, like Nanta Pragyam, Na Pragish Pragyam, everything is going to deny. And then what? Everything is denied means what? It cannot be explained by words. Whatever I have only three avasthas. You say no, nothing. Then where am I? What am I? He says, yeah, that is you are the understanding. You are understanding beyond those words and meaning. That is why it says, Vacharampanam Vikara Namadeyam. That is why even in Taittiriya Upanishad, whatever it talks about, no, Yatova Imani Bhutani Jayante, Ena Jatani Jivanti. That's in sense from which you are born, by which you are sustained by into which you resolve yourself. Yato. It uses a pronoun. It doesn't say this and that. It just uses a pronoun. And later in the sutra it says Tad Ananyatvam Arambana Shabdadibhyaha. Tad Ananyatvam Arambana Shabdadibhyaha. Meaning anything you name and shame is it is all from the Tad, from which was referred to in Taittiriya, Yatova Imani Bhutani. The sense, yet, because they use the pronoun only. Because as far as Ishvara is concerned, as far as reality is concerned, there is only reality. There is only noun. The pronouns are our creation. Jiva Srishti. Because you say, no, I am different from you. Pronouns started. Otherwise, there is only being. See, only human being has got this. Being is a noun, human is only adjective. Cat being, lion being, nobody says. Human being, that means being is your reality. Human, you are capable of adding adjectives to yourself. Because no, I am not a noun, I am only an adjective. Adichi solrom, Bhagavanta. Me, all being, I am human being. Whereas Bhagavan says, you are also being, I am also being. So this is all, in the sense, Satyam is it. It's all told by him in so many words, in so many places. So it is your birthright. Freedom is your birthright, not podi. This is the freedom. This is the freedom with which you are born, you are entitled to. This is the only thing you can own and be comfortable with. Anything else you are not going to be comfortable with. What is the point in complaining? Okay, then we can say, okay, that will all be there. Badita adhyasa. Something solli, sapagat, basically. Sapagat in meaning, you are only consoling yourself. Adhyasa I will look a fool, no, in my own eyes. Right? I don't want, okay, no, it's all, everyone is. Like Swamiji always, we all pass each other as normal because we are equally fools. In a, in a, in a mental hospital, the doctor is an odd man out. People will say, all the inmates will say, what is this fellow, odd fellow coming and going time and again? Likewise, in this prapancha, anyone who talks like that becomes an odd man out. That's why he's given a separate dress and kept out of his society. So that he doesn't disturb. So that is a reality. That is the way he explains. I'm just quoted one particular verse from Aparuksha Anubhuti, and uh, and also he says it is beautifully explained that is in the psychology, as I was telling, in psychology, the child problems are getting submerged because at that time the child is insecure. It won't be able to stand up for its hurt or guilt. So Bhagavan has given a unconscious. It remains in the unconscious. You grow up, and once you grow up into a secure person, that unconscious comes out. And even in Vedanta students, Swamiji used to say, when they feel a secure background, when they look at a very trustable guru, they throw out all their problems, childhood problems, what they had with their parents, they will throw it upon the guru. So this is all happening. This is the psychology has what you call analyzed it nicely. With this particular background, this will be your behavior. And so what it does psychology, what it does psychotherapy and all, a real person who has gone through the psychotherapy, Swamiji always used to say, a person who has gone through the psychotherapy and psychology study, he himself might have had psychological issues. Otherwise, he won't take interest in psychology. Really, this is his very statement. He has made it very clear. So he learns it, and he learns it, and he does lot of analysis of himself, and he understands and resolves it. In the sense, a person, a successful psychotherapist, resolves it. Otherwise, Swamiji will jocularly will say that fellow has got 3 divorces. How can he be a good psychologist? We cannot get along with people. So that aside, but a good psychologist would have understood this and he would have done a therapy himself, and so he would have understood. Now when he sits for with the therapy session with somebody else, he will understand, he will analyze what is the background with which why you are behaving like that. Then he will say, yeah, your behavior is valid, you are validated because you had a background like this, that's why it is. Now what is the solution? You have to observe the child in yourself, and don't get what you call perturbed when such a certain behavior out of the normal comes in your mind. You don't immediately react. You say, you understand it is because of my psychological background. It doesn't matter. I will not do the prayer. I will not victimize others because of my problem. Like that, slowly you will be able to process. So Ishvara is the therapist. That's what he said. Extending this logic, see the generally this what do you call that there is one particular statement, Mithya Jnana Nimittaha Loka Vyavahara in the Brahma Sutra. The whole Loka Vyavahara is Mithya Jnana, which I was generally trying to explain. How the whole thing is, Mithya Jnanam is wrong understanding of life. Then how can it be Mithya Jnana Nimittaha Loka Vyavahara? Means how is it justified? Then he says, he uses this logic of the psychology. He says a particular problem of the child manifests as a particular problem in the adult. In the same way, extending that, fundamentally uninhibited consciousness is your reality. If you behave as inhibited consciousness, meaning limited person, naturally it leaves an unconscious in you. That is uniform of whole humanity, extending the logic of psychology to reality. So uninhibited consciousness is your reality. Inhibited consciousness is your behavior. It may be good, bad, ugly, whatever. This is dharmic, adharmic, punyam, papam, ellam chendadhu dhaan adula. Punyam, papam ellam chendadume inhibited consciousness dhaan. That is why he says punya is only a golden shackle. It is not a There's nothing great about it. So what he says, this uninhibited consciousness, unless you understand it as your reality, you will be behaving as inhibited conscious. That is the unconscious that is applicable to all human beings. So it is only an extension of psychology. That is why Ishvara is the super therapist for both a particular childhood problem or also the fundamental problem of a human being. So that is why Agrahanam, there is one school of thought where there is no avidya. There are people. That is why he says no. Agrahanam, Mandukya very clearly says Agrahanam Karanam, Anyata Agrahanam Karyam. As I was telling, the whole way of difference converted into division, Anyata Agrahanam, it is called, is because of your lack of understanding of your reality. Agrahanam is the Karanam, Anyata Agrahanam is the Karyam. In that there is no differentiation, that everyone is in the same boat. Whether it is rich or poor, young or old, Vaidika or Laukika, scholar, Vaidika scholar, still if this particular thing is not sorted out, the unconscious remains. There are a lot of people even agreed to Swamiji himself. Scholars have told this particular thing they are not able to. So Mandukya beautifully analyzes. He doesn't talk about psychology, but Swamiji brings in that. Agrahanam karanam anyata agrahanam karyam. So that way also you can understand it even from the psychology aspect, that our human beings' fundamental problem is one of not claiming our reality is uninhibited consciousness. The awareful being is the only reality. Everything else, like right from Panchabhutam onwards, and elements and elementals in the world over, is only mithya. That is why the Kathopanishad also says, Panchabhutam also is Malinikaranam. Panchabhutam also is Malinikaranam, means is an impurity. Space, bifurcation of space, air, water, and all that is only an impurity. It is not prapancham or something like that. So adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapancham prapanchate. The whole thing is adhyaropa, right from air onwards. Elements and elementals also dur ki baat hai. So whole thing is Malinikaranam. Now Nirmalinikaranam is where Kushagreya Buddhihi, in the sense Kathopanishad, like sharper than the sharpest darba grass. And the alavukku buddhi has to be in good shape for you to understand this. And everywhere, every Upanishad, Sadeva Satyam, Swamiji always to say, Sadeva Saumya Idam Agre Asit. He says, in that, Idam Agre Asit, Idam Bhavishyati, everything is changing. Sadeva Satyam remains. That means what? Everything else is the changing changes. Sadeva Satyam. You are the only reality. Everything else changes. You can't complain changing is changing. Changing is its swabhava, it will change. And changing is what? Nothing is changing in your perception, because you have got the limitation of your eyes, ears and all that. Eyes can see only certain things. After some time you are not able to see. Even here you see, after some time you start seeing like this, then you are asked to go to a eye specialist. So everything is faulty. So because of that, you see the variety, even the reality. Look at it. If somebody walks across, your friend whom you know very well, you are walking on the road. Somebody is walking on from the opposite direction. You know him very well. When he reaches you, he frowns and goes out. Then you tell the other person, why this fellow? I know this fellow. Why is he frowning? When you really find out, you found out that at that time he felt like sneezing. He couldn't sneeze. He had some problem. So he went away. You think that he is frowning. That is our understanding of the world. So we are capable of converting Vyavahara into a falsify that also. Pakarde Aravara Kanna, Adrinde falsify. So both Vyavahara and Pradibhasika both are like Dirga Nidra. Oredia, Mandukya Upanishad. Dirga Nidra, Dirga Swapnam, whole Vyavahara. And that is why you find the variety and all that. And you say that the variety is creating problem. No, variety is not creating problem. Variety is you have named it. There is only one being. So you have to be always, in the sense, once you get to this understanding, Swamiji says you don't have to, that is why it's called negation, it's not called rejection. Famous example, Swamiji always used to say that banana and banana peel. You cannot reject the banana peel and you take only banana, then banana peel will show you who is real, whether the banana or the banana peel. If slip and fall, the banana you have eaten will come out. He always used to, because both are mithya, equally mithya. So if you say mithya is creating problem, the problem who creates, who creator also is equally mithya. Daniki dini saripoyindi Swamiji. So you are mithya and you say other mithya, you are complaining. Go to Satyam. And no, go, Swamiji, once I know Satyam, what else? Uppu chappu illama irukum. Uppu chappu dhaan venna, be there. Then don't complain. You want to understand reality and transact with the world as it is. Nothing wrong, like even seeing a movie. The whole thing is nothing but a movie. The bright screen doesn't complain. I have no other job to do, just I have to be bright. If that it starts complaining like that, you won't be able to see a movie. So bright screen is your reality. All the things that changes is movie. That's why that famous statement in the Gita second chapter, the clinching statement in the second chapter. Prajahati yata kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmani atmana tushtaha sthita prajnastu uchyate. Prajahati yata kaman sarvan partha manogatan. This typical example is movie. Prajahati, like a movie, all things are Prajahati yata kaman. All the thoughts keep coming. You just keep on, let them come and let them pass. Let it be a passing show. Prajahati yata kaman sarvan partha manogatan. In the mind, whatever comes, let it keep going. In that, pick and choose whatever is relevant to act in this particular situation appropriately. Atmani atmana tushtaha sthita prajnastu uchyate. A person who does not have any Atmani atmana tushtaha, he is happy with himself. So whatever he does from those picking and choosing the thoughts will be what is appropriate to the given situation in terms of wherever he is stationed. If it is in a family or in an ashram or if it is in a school, college and all that, whatever thoughts are appropriate to that particular situation, he will pick up and act on it. Other things will go out like a movie. He will not be bothered. So that fellow is the Sthita Prajna. Bhagavan tells Arjuna, concluding statement in the second chapter, Upadesam, where he started asking, how will the Sthita Prajna move? How will he talk? Bhagavan used to, talking nonsensical questions. You can't look at the other person, how he behaves, about his dress, and make out that he is a jnani and all that. You can't make out. Only a jnani knows. And this is how it is. This is the Lakshanam. Lakshanam means Prajahati yata kaman sarvan partha manogata atmani atmana tushtaha sthita prajnastu uchyate. Sthita prajna because he is happy with himself. Since he is happy with himself, whatever is appropriate to the given situation, wherever he is, accordingly he will do, without creating any disturbance to the others in the society. Jadaval lokam achare, Mandukya says. How will he behave? He will be like everyone else. You can't, you will not have a glow behind. Swamiji always to say. You will not have an ara, what is it? Aro. Adhalam photo like that. So, he will be like everyone else. But he will do what is appropriate because he doesn't have agenda. Why? Because he is Atmani Atmana Tushtaha. Why? Because he has understood. Not because something he has got some golden. Because he has understood the reality. And the reality is the same for every one of us. Including animals and plants, but unfortunately, they don't know, they cannot know. But they are programmed, so they do within their limits. They just take a few buckets of water and gives us fruits for years together. They are much more reaching out. They are really reaching out compared to us. Because they are programmed. They are programmed that way, they are behaving like that. Whereas we have to learn to reach out. First, we have to learn to reach out, go bigger than whatever we think that we are confined to this body, I, me, myself, me, my family. All those restrictions you have put on ourselves. First, you have to break those shackles. Reach out. Once you reach out, then you will that expansiveness will tell you something more about the whole thing. Then you will ask the question. That is a grace. Once you ask the question, then you will get an Acharya will be able to explain the whole reality. And then it is just one more step Swamiji always to say. You are able to look at, even in the temple, beautifully he used to say, you know, he says everything is given. Okay. We are, even in English language, we say given. There is a giver, there is a receiver. Okay. We are the receiver. There is a giver. There is a given. Now, when we go to the temple, what we do? Abhishekam, Alankaram and all that. Even poor man, everyone, Namlal, whatever is capable, suppose we are using only 5 liters in the house, we are offering 10 liters to Bhagavan. Going beyond our capability because we want to show a sense of surrender, sense of acceptance that everything is given to me by Bhagavan only. So that sort of an acceptance, that bhavana. So that Swamiji always used to say 3 things. Shraddhavan labate jnanam, Acharyavan purushaha veda, and Buddha bhava samanvita in the 10th chapter, 10.8. That is, a person who knows bhavana, initially starts as bhavana. That's what I was telling. In the temple, you start as a bhavana. The sense you show, even though you are capable of buying only 5 liters, you stretch yourself and buy 10 liters and give for Abhishekam. Like that, everyone does, everyone according to their capability. So everything is on the table. Alankaram, Abhishekam, Naivedyam, everything is on the table, and the Pratima and everything. And all of us have given Tanu man, in Hindi what they say, no? Tanu man sab kuch, dhanam sab kuch tera hai. Everything we have given. Now whatever I so-called I, everything I have given. Bhagavan has given everything and all there on the table now. There, other side, Bhagavan is there, the being. This side, you have given everything, only you are the being. Then the Arati comes. The Arati signifies the oneness. Na tatra suryo bhadi, na chandra tarakam. The camphor also goes off. Only the light of oneness remains. So this is a reality. Personified in a temple situation, a puja situation. So this is also one way of expansiveness, expanding yourself. Okay, if you are not doing any reaching out activity, even this puja prayer also is an expansiveness of your oneness with the Ishvara. And then once you have this sort of this bhavana has to be converted into bhava. That is why Buddha bhava samanvita. Bhavana has to become your reality. Buddha bhavana initially, bhava later. Buddha bhava samanvita. Samanvita means understanding. Samyak anvita. Clear understanding. So this way also you can, again eventually you get to understand this only. Reality is the same. So thereafter you don't look at this God will give me car, this God will give me bungalow. Don't. There is only one there. Vishwara, there is only the oneness. Love, bhakti. It is ultimate bhakti and ultimate jnana. Jnani to atma iva me matam, Bhagavan says in Gita. Jnani is the ultimate bhakta also. So there is no, at that level there is no difference. So this is how his teaching is all very universal. Because all of us, he says, unity is the samanya, unity is our reality. Vishesha and variable is not, is only for transaction. Unity in diversity. Unity is our matlab in life. Human beings' matlab in life is unity. Invariable. And every variable has got invariable. Like as I said, the bright screen is the invariable. The movie is changing. So, invariable is our reality, and fortunately, it doesn't require knowledge or information. Because it doesn't have, it is limitless. It's not time bound, space bound, it's not even an object. As I said, object is what? Is only what you call it object because it reflects light. There's no object, there's no thing called object in light. There's no thing is a reality. No within inverted commas. Not sunya. No within inverted commas is being. That is why Swamiji always say vastavam. Not vastu. Vastavam is reality. So if you are able to see this, then there is what information knowledge you require. You don't require, you just have to be, just be is the reality. And for that you don't need anything, just be and do. So love and do what you will. Love is being. Doing is okay. Just Vyavahara. Since having been in a situation where it's not, whether we like it or not, we are put ourselves in a situation till the time we grow into it. So till then you keep doing whatever is required, appropriate to the given situation. Swamiji's words of putting dharma, one way, appropriate to the given situation. To that extent you understand. Put all your classes so that you don't feel guilty. Because to that extent you understand only, no, you can do appropriate to the given situation. There again, you can be a mistake. You can make a mistake. Because it's all changing. Everything what is true today is not true tomorrow. Continuous changing. That is why Arura, Natraja. Swamiji says without that motion, you can't even see things. But if the motion stops, the whole thing comes to a halt. And the motion also is like Alada Santi only in Mandukya. Only the glow is real. The patterns are all Chumanachike. Only appearance. That is why Mandukya is very clear. Ajati Vata. Ultimate. There's nothing, there is no pattern coming up and getting resolved and all that. Even though Tova Imani Bhutani says something is coming alive and getting sustained and getting resolved, Mandukya Kara very clearly says there is nothing coming out, nothing is going in. Ajativata. Nothing is born, nothing is gone. Of course, Bhagavan also says the same thing. Gatasun, Agatasun, Nanuso Chandi Pandita. First Upadesa Vakya. Nobody is gone, nobody is born. Why are you worried? Or if you think somebody is going, you are also going behind him. Gatasun, Agatasun. Mrityor, Mrityum Apnoti. Death to death nu cholla, birth to birth nu cholla. Birth to birth nu cholla positive thinking, death to death nu cholla negative thinking. Swamiji were Varakla Karakanna American. So much, no, we have so much time Swamiji is no verbal, what do you call, vomiting. So that is why that being, just being, is the ultimate. That's the reality. That is your Swarupam. You just claim it and be. This is how I understood. Whatever he is, you can ask any questions for him. You got the mic, no? The mic, yeah. That mic, people to ask. Let's go. There, working? Anyone has any questions, you can ask. Okay.
I was searching for a garden. Did you contemplate whether we are to follow?
No, as I told, nothing. Honestly, I was not even searching for a guru. I was not even, I didn't know the word Vedanta, spirituality. When I listened to him first time, I only heard two words, you are the awareful being. And of course, I had a early, in the sense, in my childhood, my people used to say that you are very much committed to truth. Even in Laukika matters, you will say so much about truth, you will get into trouble, my mother used to say. Don't be all the time truth and all. You are a small boy. So that way, I had a commitment to truth. So when he said, you are the awareful being, since I had the Shraddha in him, because I had seen him from childhood, I committed totally myself. Yes, what he says is 100% true. And that way I started looking at my life. And I found that everything is falling in place. No contradiction. Till date, from the last 50 years, I have been listening to him. No contradiction. So that is only a blessing, I would say. I won't say I have chosen, honestly. It just happened, and it is that's why I narrated that part of it initially. Yeah. Yeah, that is in the sense you have the question. The very fact you have got the question, you started looking at the realities. Now your acharyas are there helping you. Try to, only thing is that as you understand the reality, You must, you understand? I won't say, Swami never likes to use the word must and should and all that. You see the profundity of that reality, and you allow it to grow on you. Don't resist it. Don't be going back to the rut in which you have been living all along. You don't want to move away from the rut, but at the same time, you want to one up this understanding. It doesn't happen. Once you are very thorough, that is why the Shraddha. Once you have the Shraddha, this truth, what is being talked about is there, then what you call, tailor make my life to suit this understanding, to allow this understanding to flow into my life. Don't resist it. It flows into your life. So, in the sense, when when you are studying, when you are contemplating, if something else, distraction comes, a movie, and then you just ignore it. That is why prajahati yata kaman. Kaman, that is why instead of saying thoughts, it says kaman. Kaman means that's something which will attract you. Just let it pass. Don't feel guilty that you in the pleasure na anubhavi ke liye. Don't get into that. Because you are now looking into that reality, which is the Purnatvam. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Yadnivatya, with all the wealth, he gave it to his wife and went. She says, if this wealth is going to make you happy, better you have it. No, why are you giving it to me? Then he said, no, that is not the truth. The truth is Atmanastu kamaya. To be with being, just be, is the ultimate kama, santushti. That he was honest enough to tell her and explain to her also. So that is how you have to explain to yourself. In the sense, once we are all familiar with, we got all these things, facilities to understand various technologies available. Once you are able to gauge what that Shastra, the teaching, or whatever words of wisdom coming out from anybody, if it is in line with this understanding, you allow it, don't resist it, allow it to flow into your life. Modify your life activities to suit that. Rather than you want to have it and have the cake and eat it too. No, it doesn't work. Vedanta is one more subject matter. I know Vedanta. For telling that, you are not studying. You want to be. That is why Swamiji says Vedanta equal to you. There is no compromise on that.
We need the.
No, see, leaving and all that is only, as I said, is only a Varna Ashrama Dharma. So it doesn't really making a living and changing the clothes doesn't matter. First, that is why in the fifth chapter, what Bhagavan says, Nyayasya Nitya Sannyasi Yona Dveshti Na Kankshati Nirdvandvo Hi Mahabaho Sukham Bandhanat Pramuchyate Nyayasya Nitya Sannyasi. Nyayasya means by Jnanam only, by understanding only. Swamiji used to say, Nitya Sannyasi means not Kabhi Kabhi Sannyasi. In the sense, even a person, sannyasi, I have to go and out to eat, I have to go to travel in a bus or in a car and all that. That's all Vyavahara will be there. That means 100% you are not. So, how you can be 100% Nitya Sannyasi? Only by understanding. Yeah, that's why I said Buddha Bhava Samanvita. Bhavana first, Bhava later. Bhava means your understand. That is why this Gita says Jnana Karma Sannyasa is called Sarva Karma Sannyasa. By understanding. Nesya Nitya Sannyasi Yonadveshti Na Kamshati. Adhe madi Sannyasastu Mahabaho Dukkam Aptum Ayogata. That Jnana Karma Sannyasa is difficult if you are not having the Yoga Buddhi, meaning allowing the understanding to flow into your life. That is a yoga, Jnana Yoga. Na? You must allow the understanding to flow into your life. Do not resist it. You should not look for excuses. No, I am in the family, I am in the Grahastha, I am not a sannyasi, so I cannot allow it to flow into. No. That is why Nyayasya Nitya Sannyasi.
Swamiji, just one question. In the statement, Dharma is what is appropriate society.
Given situation, not to society, to the given situation. In the sense there, I told you the Dharma matrix, that universal values of don't steal, don't tell a lie, do actually what they say, no, do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. So that is reciprocal. That is always, way in which you want others to treat you, you must treat others. That is the Samanya Dharma. And with reference to Vishesha Dharma, suppose you are sitting in a table, everyone is using fork and spoon, and you start eating with your hand. That will disturb their conscience. So there again, appropriate Vishesha Dharma is you also try to use your fork and spoon and eat, so that you don't disturb the others. That is Vishesha Dharma. But Vishesha Dharma, at least you can, others can understand, you can, but Samanya Dharma, you cannot compromise. So in every situation, you will know what is appropriate to the given situation by common sense understanding. That this is what I am supposed to do in this particular situation. That everyone knows. As long as you are honest to yourself, you don't have any other agenda, hidden agenda. Those things you have to get out of. That is what you have to. The sense you should not, like you can say in a corporate dharma, management by objectivity means what? What is the objective of the company is called management by objectivity. Shastra, it's not like that. What is objective for universally is called objectivity. So, very important.
Understand some. So I have whether what is the signal you get whether you are on the right path or you are on the wrong path? When you are traveling, how do you find there should some signals which should come?
Yes, definitely. The sense, the conflict, basically a sense of conflict, whether the guilt and hurt in a particular situation, whatever you do, does it invoke a sense of guilt in you? That is how you understand. Because a sense of hurt, even I would say a sense of hurt, because even a sense of hurt means what? Somebody else is doing something wrong, even genuinely, we don't know the situation, genuinely is doing something wrong. For doing something wrong, who should pay for? He should pay for or you should pay for? If you get hurt, you are paying for his mistake. He should pay for. So you should not allow it to hurt you. So a sense of hurt by others' mistakes also, a sense of hurt, guilt in your way of conducting also will tell you whether you are contradicting your understanding in this direction. That is why wherever you minimize, that is why even for sannyasi it says, no, what is that? Kimaham sadhuna karavam, kimaham papam akaravam iti. That is being told in Taittiriya Upanishad after telling Anandam Brahmano Vidvan Avivedi Kudaschaneti. Anandam, your Surupa is already defined, you have understood. In spite of that, thereafter the sloka says, Kimaham sadhuna karavam, kimaham papam akaravam iti. As Mari and feeling with Atmanam Pashyati, Atmanam Srunoti. Everything gets resolved in the Atma understanding. Because even for a sannyasi can happen that a particular situation, but you must be able to resolve it by proper understanding. Then you do whatever prayaschitta, in the sense, if that person is around to whom you have done some wrong, you try to correct it, or at least pray for him, or at least say sorry. Whatever way you can, Pratipaksha Bhavana, you can do that. You can do that. It's available. But this way but first you have to realize, first you have to understand that this is conflicting with my understanding of life. From there you start.
Swamiji, namaskaram. A lot of valid points and a lot of insights.
No, actually, it's not my insight. It's all whatever I have listened to him from.
What experiential from my life no. You made a statement that being uninhibited is the natural state. Being inhibited is a behavior. So the people know what is the right state. We also mentioned sometimes what is about a child. A child is born perfect in every way. There is no guarantee. At some point, because kind of a thing. So people know what is the right path. There are a lot of gurus. Colleges are going to teach you the right values. There's no one to teach you how to steal and how to collect the service. So the in spite of that, that's also a good thing. Why Dharma is going down, in spite of all this good thinking and right thinking, we still believe doing the right thing. Still, we don't do the right thing.
Yeah, that is precisely what you say is true. In the sense, there is the basic, like Swamiji always used to say, like coffee, you've got coffee. There is a norm for good coffee, everyone knows, at least in this part of the world. Coffee means what it is itself. So, having that norm, you will be able to judge any coffee given by anybody with reference to this norm, whether it fits in or not, good coffee or bad coffee, okay? In the same way, the norm for Purnatvam is already there with us. That is why in between two thoughts we are silent. In between one desire fulfillment to another desire fulfillment, you are Purnam. That is why you are convinced that Purnatvam in sleep, 25% of your life you are sleeping and you are Purnam there. And you want to enjoy. That's why you don't want to get up from sleep with the double alarms you require. So that Purnatvam is a norm in our life. So even Swamiji, that's why he says Hobson's choice. You can't say, no, it's okay, little plus minus, I am able to live. If a fellow tells like that, don't argue with him, just leave him alone. After 10 minutes, he will come back and say, but I have this problem. So everyone goes through this. So norm we know, Purnatvam we know, right values we know, but we don't ask the right questions. As I said, you've got the learning, you've come with a clean slate. Unless you ask, you won't get it. Any knowledge, whether to turn, whether to take food, nutrition, whatever, everything you ask questions, very intelligent you are. Keep on asking questions, go to gym, this, go to this company, this company, this company, this company, this money, this money, this money, this money. Keep on accumulating information, knowledge about everything else in life except your reality. So you don't ask for it, don't get it, period. And once you ask for it, also people don't want to walk that path, as you were saying. No, if I go like that, no, I will have to leave all these things. I cannot have the cake and eat it too. எல்லாத்தையும் புள்ள பேருக்கு கொடுக்க வேண்டி வரும். No, you have earned so much. That is where you cannot have the cake and eat it. Purnatvam is your only reality, only Sattu you have come with. That is the only thing you can claim as yours. Everything is only a possession. Asashvatam. That conduction. That is why you have to be honest to yourself. Perhaps I would say, as she was asking, I was honest all the time.
So another thing is the wrong doesn't get punished. You thought of next challenge.
That is there. See, that is why Gahana Karmano Gatihi. Shastra says, you cannot judge which is wrong, which is calculus of Punya Papa, you don't do. It's a wasteful exercise. Don't try to, even for yourself you should not do, but for others definitely you should not do. Use this for only for self growth. That is why it's called self knowledge. It's not others knowledge. Concentrate, because நம்மளை பத்தி தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு நம்ம டைம் இல்லை. Very worried about whatever. Okay, in your situation something inappropriate happens. That is where that serenity prayer is. Let me have the serenity to accept things which I cannot change. Will and effort to change things I can. Wisdom to know the difference between. The wisdom is the problem. We don't know. Don't try to project too much. Understand your life, and if you live well, there will be others who get inspired by you, by what you are, not by what you say. I tell you, nobody gets inspired by what you say. Everyone gets inspired by what you are. Well, let us live it.
Difference and usually harmonies of the mass. As when it comes to the religion and dharma, the longest existing religion would be around 10,000 years. Before that, there was they might have a system, I don't know, but I'm sure it's one. And after 10,000 years of very great work, so some kind of modified system, perhaps that's one problem. Coming to the soul, it takes birth in a womb, maybe with the consent. And the baby is born, let's say, human being. Here, our Panchabuddhas, the body is very Panchabuddha, that is the much we know. There is energy when mind is used. The mind is used to design biological and all resources we take from here and finally we survive and decay and discipline. So it's a common observation. Most of us are aware. But still, this harmony and other things, which is not there. And there is a lot of other issues and problems. My observation feeling is that there are so many gurus who have come who are there. Why just lose this simple words? Why they're not putting into the general public, wherever it is there, throughout the world, across the regions, specific religion. As individuals are a team of gurus, a team of individuals, why cannot I bring simple concepts to the people and make them understand? Okay, Vedanta is a complex course. I agree. Why they can make it as an individual, as a team, to the society. Let's see that at least a basic knowledge is maintained. That's fine.
So, like if you take the cue from Veda also, what it does is, there are two, in the sense, Shastram, there are two things. One is called Sashanat Shastram, the another is called Samshanat Shastram. Samshanat meaning understanding. Sasanat meaning mandate or command and control. So 99% of the Veda, it talks about only Sasanat Shastram. And only 1%, even in the Veda, entire Veda, Vedanta, what we have been discussing in this room right now, is only about that, within that 1% only. That is Samshanat, by understanding. How to understand life. That is what I have been talking about. What is my understanding from Swamiji, and I am sharing it with you. So your question is partly answered, because it's 99% of even the Shastra, it deals with only command and control, and that is about the changing realities. The changing realities will always have plus minus plus minus. It's a cycle. What goes up comes down. What goes up comes down. So this will keep happening, dharma and adharma. That is why even in the Kathopanishad, the intelligent student asks, what is beyond dharma and adharma? That is this understanding. Because dharma comes with adharma. Because every activity is nothing but a movement. And it's only a movement. Because of the movement, it has matter and energy. Because of that, various, various jantus, in the sense beings, are all created. And again, as I told, how is the particular, a tiger is because of a tiger, because of the cruel quality which it has imbibed by being a human being and done wrong things, it becomes a tiger. So there is a cause and effect reality. So the entire prapancha is continuously changing. So if you say, why this is being done, why people cannot be made to understand the everything is like this, that is, we are talking about the 1% of the people to be expanding into 100% of the people. If that is the case, even this question will not arise. Like everyone will be in their own place. But we are seeing that difference because, as I said, Gahana Karmano Gatihi, how it happened, we really cannot make out, because it is infinite. Infinite number of species are there, infinite number of, even within the same species, so much of differences are there, so much of, and all are because of karma and karma pala, in the sense karma theory meaning, because of wrong action in the past, you are enjoying the benefit of either papa or punya and all. So this dynamics continues. This dynamics is explained to some extent by the Veda, and everyone, the society is in 99% of the society is in that fashion. They are told, do what is appropriate to the given situation. Do the, what I was telling, be dharmic, try to expand, don't be I, me, myself, try to expand, reach out, do some good karma, and that likewise you can grow bigger. That way the society also can get benefited. So this sort of a thing is being told. Even in the karma, people always tell, do some Ishta karma and Purta karma. Purta karma is doing social work, and Ishta karma is doing your duties to the family and all that. This is there. This is being told out to people and all that. But the fact is, it is there. What you say, the discrepancy, disparities is there in society because it is the niyati, it is the niyati of mithya, the changing. Mithya means what? It is a changing world. Changing can be for the better or for the worse. You and I cannot decide what is better, what is good in one society is not good in another society. What is good in one age is not good in another age. This has been there even at Bhartrihari 2000 years back when the rishis were there. Even then he was complaining why the society is like that. So it's not that today's phenomenon. Before also it has been always there. So that is the reality is 99% of the society is in this. Because why? As I told you, fundamental question is not being asked. You are capable, a human being is capable of asking this question, and he has got the norm of Purnatvam means what? What you are in sleep, one with Ishvara is your reality. And 50% of the world is always sleeping, right? In darkness, in the sense night and dark, night and dark. So every 50% of the society is understanding this Purnatvam. But once you wake up with all the problems of the previous night. Why? Because you don't ask the question. Because what you wake up is to all your with your avidya and vidya karya vidya, what Shastra says in the sense, all compounded confusion is what you are waking up with. Last night you slept with that, you have because in sleep you don't develop any intelligence, you don't ask questions. Even in waking you don't ask questions, where you are going to ask question in the sleep. So that is the reality. The sense, this is again the reality. So what we have to do is that we have to one up our reality. Every individual has got this capability of knowing what is the norm. The norm is I know that I lack is my problem. What I lack is not a problem. That I lack is basically because I don't understand that I don't lack. Is my reality. So you start with the premise, wrong premise. Kanakla வந்து in mathematics, 1 plus 2 equal to 3. If you start the sum with 1 plus 2 equal to 5, even though all other steps are there, you won't get marks. You can't go and tell the teacher, no, 99% of the steps are correct. So why don't you give me marks? The first step is wrong. So likewise, our first step, our assumption, what is my reality? You don't ask that question. So everything else is wrong. If it is right, it's only luck.
எப்போதும் பேசும்போது வெளியில் இருக்கிறவர்கள் always attractive and destructive. So அப்படி இல்லாம இருக்கணும், மனசு உள்முகமா திருப்பி பார்க்கணும் அப்படின்னு வச்சிருக்கோம்.
Yeah.
எப்படி
No.
வருது அதுக்கு வந்து தீவிரமா திருப்பி பார்க்கணும். அவங்க
Shastram pada, that's what Acharyas will say. Antarmukhi bhava. How to do it is go through the Shastra, in the sense goes through the Pramanam. It tells you exactly how to do Antarmukhi bhava, means what to some extent what I was telling, in the sense what is your reality, you have to ask. The sense like that I have, this is whatever I do, karmanyeva, like what we have, no? What is that? Pariksha lokan karmachitan nirvedamayat brahmanaha nastya kritaha kridena tad vijnanartham gurumeva vigachet strotyam brahmanishtam. That is the sense, pariksha lokan karmachitan. You have to examine whatever I have been doing all along, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. Everything has a consequence which is not, I am not happy with. You must be able to see that. Pariksha lokan karmachitan, you must be able to see that. Pariksha means what? Examine. Examine your life. Be honest about it. Whatever you have done all these years. And everywhere you find that there is some dukkha lesa. In spite of success, you will find there is something missing. So you find that. Then if that is the case, by doing, I have not been very completely happy, or I am not able to know what it is all about and all that. So maybe by not doing, then by not doing means what I should do? By knowing or by being. So by being means what? I must know what is my being. For that, where is there? There is Shastra says, the Acharyas are there. That is what this whole study is all about. What is your reality? Is the Antarmukhi bhava. Antarmukhi bhava means not like sitting and meditating and suddenly something will come up. No. You have to understand your reality. You have to eliminate, negate whatever is not you, one by one. Whatever is not really being blessing to you, avoid that. And then what I do? Then I understand, okay, by understanding okay, I understand that uninhibited consciousness is my reality. My being is my reality. Okay, my being is my reality. What do I do? Do I sit just like that? No, being is my reality. Go out and do whatever is appropriate with your instruments of action. Instruments of action is what? Body, mind, and senses. Now, body, minds, and senses become instruments of action. Previously, they were you. Now, you, having understood that they are only instruments of action, I appropriately use them. Instruments I will always use properly. If it is something totally with which I am identified, I will take shortcuts. I will do whatever is something beneficial to me, but not beneficial to others. Whereas when they are instruments, you will use it appropriately. But for that, you must know what is your reality. That you have to keep studying, continuously studying. At the same time, maintain the space between you and your instruments. First, you have to understand body, mind, senses are instruments. That is why I was giving the example of puja. When you go to temple every day, when you leave the chapel and go inside, don't go inside as father, mother, or employee, employer, and all that. Go as just the fellow who is going to give up dhan, man, sab kuch tera hai. And I'm going to retain that bhavana of the being. There is a giver behind all that is given, what is there on the table in terms of puja, alankaram, pratima, naivedyam, everything. And there is a giver who is waiting on the other side. He is also the being. I am also the being. In the harati, I am going to seek oneness with him. And that oneness, I am able to be peaceful. How it happened? I am not doing anything there. Everything, whatever I have done, tanu, manu, sab kuch de diya. Hard work, all hard work, earned money, everything I am giving. In spite of that, I am Purnam, I am happy, one with the being. Develop that bhavana. Morning, evening, even at home when you do the puja, you do that. Then you will find that is your reality. Then you will have a value for that reality. That is Antarmukhi Bhava. Oh.
Namaste. Today, so much knowledge. Whatever
Even this you can say, whatever is Vedanta, you put all this, their answers, they also will come in that. Chat GPT.
and you are only the next generation how can they survey with the current states.
That is why, I started with the sense, that's why I gave a glimpse of my own life. Honestly, this all was there. Where is Trichy, where is Bombay? In Bombay, people used to say, when you come out of the train, and the, what is that? What is that? What is that? No, not Sundeka. Say that Sundeka, what is the English name or Hindi name? Anyone knows? So they will say, when you come out of the train, Sundeka Mute Avututta Epdi Varanga. That is how people come out. That is the place where I went from a place like Trichy. At that time, talking about 50 years back. So I was totally aghast. But fortunately, I knew because of Pujya Swamiji that I am the being, awareful being. Everything else is, that is what you have to start with. The sense you have the Shraddha, you are here now in Pujya Swamiji's Sannidhi. As good as I was there in that school. So today definitely you can understand. That's why I am bold enough to say this to you. I would say to even a 20-year-old today, easily you can understand, it's not a big deal. First you have the Shraddha. Shraddhavan Lavati. You have the Shraddha in the Guru Acharya. Being, awareful being is my reality. Everything is only an instruments of action. So do whatever is appropriate. If somebody calls, in a crowd, somebody calls a fool, who will turn up? In the same way, don't appropriate that something is wrong with you. Okay? I am the Purnam being. I am using my instrument to that extent possible. I do whatever I can. Be firm about this understanding. If this understanding is true, if it is Satyam, own it up. And then keep doing. And once you live that way, automatically things will fall in place. Because choiceless living is the intelligent living. At every moment in life, you know very well, this is the right thing I should do. Don't look for choices. In exams, you look for the easiest question to answer, whereas in life, you take the hardest decision first. Swamiji used to say that ulta.
The bijam you have to put in.
Yeah, bijam you have to put in. That's a fact. It is a reality. As I said, it is a norm of your life. Your happy being is your birthright and freedom. That is what you are born with. That's why I started like that. 100% degree of freedom is what you are born with. Anything and under the sky you can learn. Clean slate. Every capability you have. And the freedom to act, as I told, kartum sakyam, akartum sakyam, anyatava kartum sakyam, that freedom is only given to human being. Not even to sun and moon. Sun can only bright light. Moon can give only cool light. It cannot give hot light. Whereas I can take 100-degree bath also, and for -5 degree cold also you can bear. And I don't have to call it cold and hot. Once you call it cold and hot, then automatically inside something happens. You just live it. Just water is water. That's all. There's no cold and hot and all. That duvita, that is why it says nirdvandvo hi mahabaho bandhanat pramuchyate. Nirdvandva. Dvandva is all your creation. Bhagavan never called it. Temperature never come and say, I am hot or cold. Temperature is temperature. It is your nomenclature. And then you are blaming Bhagavan. It's all. We are very creative in creating problems for us.
Okay.
Om. Thank you.
Just
I
to
hope.
summarize, I think I summarize with the last question she asked. But as a question, I think we have to have. I think if I learn from what somebody said in the last 2 hours, we need only 2 things for many of these things that we asked. I think from what I see, it is surrender and constant prayerna. Everything will open up. Okay, that's what I have taken as one sentence of 3 things that somebody has. Thank you, Swami. It took a lot of time and time enough to come and share it. I felt like hearing Swami and very actually from it was such nice examples.
That will be the greatest blessing, I can say. Yeah. Yeah, you have to. It's all, we are all together in the journey. Don't feel something wrong. Everything is right. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevadasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
I get the
Yeah, yeah.